Good, whatever time of day it is you happen to be listening. This is the P&A Podcast Express, coming to you live from the world famous Palm Street studio in Deckerville. Adam and Phil here with you as always. We've got the Grumpy Griller with us.
He brought us a bunch of food again.
He did. You stupid suckers who aren't here.
We're so happy. I'm so giddy. I'm giggling like a schoolgirl over here.
Yes. Me as well.
But those jalapeno poppers. Damn.
Oh, and you haven't even had a potato yet?
I have not.
Yeah, you're sucking.
My gear grind is everybody else that's not here, but not really, because that means more wonderfulness for me.
Yes. I seem quiet in my ears, but it looks like I'm turned up quite a bit.
Maybe.
More than normal? That seems about right.
You might have gotten turned down a little bit because somebody sat there with sensitive ears, maybe.
I like my mic hot.
I like it hot, too. I like to be able to hear myself, but not really.
So, we are into November.
What does that mean? What do you...
No shave November.
Oh, I've heard no nut November.
Well, yeah.
That's weird. That's just fucking weird.
Yeah. Rough that has to start on a weekend.
Yeah, even better. And with Erection Day right around the corner.
Yes. So, speaking of that, we have full disclosure. This is the Monday before Election Day.
Well, you can tell because we're still here and all hell hasn't broken loose.
Yes. And this goes right into perfectly with one of my gear grinds.
Oh, shit. Well, just rip the Band-Aid right the fuck off and let's start with gear grinds.
So, like the big old paper grocery bags?
Yeah, I love them. Those are the best.
We have one of those full of paraphernalia from various candidates.
Okay. So what are you going to do with this?
Mary would like to make a big mosaic out of it.
Ooh, like my presidential penis mosaics?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That project goes way back to the early days of the podcast, doesn't it?
It does. But I think we have enough.
Are you going to make penises out of them?
Maybe.
You should make a mosaic of penises with campaign stuff.
I think you totally could.
I like it.
It'd probably be very large.
It'd be a well-hung mosaic.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. I like this idea. I really like where you're going with this.
We have way more than to make one of you and I.
Jesus Christ. You wouldn't need a big grocery sack full. Maybe one of those. You wouldn't even need one of those bags that like we hide our beers in. For No, you'd need maybe like a snack bus, like a Ziploc snack bag. Less than that even.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those little baggies of cocaine comes in. Not that I know.
Or the ones that you put the little nuts and bolts in at the hardware store. Something like that.
We compared the little nuts and bolts really well.
Yes.
Favorably.
Yes. Well, I don't know about favorably, but we do. But yeah, I'm pretty anxious for that to stop.
Yeah, no shit. Watching the fucking Lions yesterday was dreadful just because every commercial was a goddamn political
radio, every commercial.
Oh, yeah. And it's like if we have to hear that one lady's voice for 4 years, I'm going to go insane. She has the worst voice ever. And this is not a political view. This is just her voice is terrible. It is the most grating thing I've heard to my ears in a long time.
Although, I mean, think about it. If you had to base it off of just listening to any of them talk, and let's throw RFK into it too, because
man,
why can't we get it's like an old radio station around here for a while,
right?
That not anybody that's running can speak properly.
So what we should do is we should have the voice modulators transfer all their voices to be either Bill Clinton or JFK's voice, because those were like the two best in my mind of presidential voices that I recall.
I don't know. I was a big Reagan voice fan.
Reagan wasn't bad.
Mostly because I loved when people did imitate.
Right.
That was in my youth, and everybody on Saturday Night Live would do an imitation of him.
The Bushes weren't anything really special, but they were distinct too. But in my mind, it's Clinton and it's JFK.
1,000 points of light.
Yeah. Although Obama isn't bad, but would that be considered going black voice?
Probably.
If you modulated through
Well,
that. Yeah, that's
If you made anybody white talk like that.
what I mean.
But
yeah.
what's up with RFK? Did he have?
He's got something wrong with his throat.
Did he drink acid as a kid or something? I mean,
I don't know if I've ever heard him, so I don't know what.
I like talk like this.
It's awful.
Maybe he was an opera singer and blew out his vocal cords.
He sounds like Bernie Sanders got kicked in the balls.
Ross Perot.
Yeah.
You use Ross
Oh.
Perot's voice.
Can I finish? I'm finished.
H. Ross Perot, we miss you, buddy.
Yes. Well, he's dead now.
Yeah. I think Jimmy Carter's going to outlive every president that we've ever known. It's just a thing, I guess.
Oh, that is. It was just pointed out in the chat here that in 4 or 8 years we could call it our mosaic dongs of presidential past
Dongs of
or dongs of elections past.
Dongs of elections past. It's not a bad art installment.
Yeah.
I'd go to that. Still waiting for the opening of my presidential penis mosaics.
Yeah. Well, gonna have to get on that.
Right? The easiest to do, and this is the joke I always share, easiest, Obama. Hardest, Trump. Hard to find
not a lot
orange
of-
penises.
Yeah.
Really hard to had
Not
to,
a lot of
had
people-
to ask a lot of dudes to eat a lot of Cheetos.
I was gonna say kind of hard. A lot of people don't post pictures of their dong after eating Cheetos.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. That was a tough sell.
Yeah.
Like I said, Obama, easiest, man. It only took like 15 of them.
Oh, yeah.
Had him all set up. No problem.
So what else is going on? I know you've got good grind. I've got more. I've got plenty more.
I got to center myself first.
Serenity now, insanity later.
So I saw something the other day. Have you seen this?
Do tell.
The Hawk girl.
Tua.
Hawk girl
Yeah.
has a podcast. And it's called Talk Tua.
Oh, dear Lord.
Get this motherfucking bullshit. This pissed me off. This pissed me off enough. I almost burned my workplace down, and they didn't even do anything. I was just that pissed. This fucking bitch, she's got a lazy eye too, by the way. Have you noticed that? She's got a fucking lazy eye.
I haven't looked at her enough to know that.
She is about as dumb as a post. She has 8 episodes of this podcast.
How many millions?
Hawk, how do you say it? Tua?
Haktui.
Hawk Tua. Whitney Cummings, that fucking bitch was her first guest. Whitney Cummings is a fucking whore bag and a fucking terrible comedian.
Yeah.
But she's rich as hell.
Yeah.
She's like on Joe Rogan's level of rich.
Really?
Because she writes and produces a lot of things, which she is talented at that.
Yeah, but she's a terrible comedian.
Right.
Like, I always hated it when she was on the roast because it was going to be 2 minutes of not funny.
So Whitney Cummings was her first motherfucking guest. This bitch is only famous for one fucking thing, and that's being a hoe bag and saying, you spit on that thing.
She was in the right place at the right
Right.
time.
She's
Yeah.
only famous for that. So get this. 8 episodes of this motherfucking podcast. 8 episodes on listen notes. Her listen score is, want to guess?
95?
60. But ours is 30. But with 60, guess what that gets in the global rank of?
Oh, probably in the top 0.5%.
Top 0.1%.
Yeah.
This motherfucking bitch has a podcast, 8 episodes. Whitney Cummings comes on her first one. No one knew her from anybody, 6 months ago before this whole viral moment
Oh, yeah.
of whatever. She's a podcast with 8 episodes, 6 major sponsors, and I looked up her net worth. Her net worth, and they said 6 months ago her net worth was in a negative. She's worth I think it said $2.6 million now.
Oh, yeah. Well, she got, I forget what she got paid to be at the last, just to show up and be at the last WrestleMania.
Yeah.
She got paid just to show up and be there.
So we've been doing this shit for almost 600 episodes. Our listen score is 30, which I'm proud of. 8 episodes for her. Listen score is 60. We're in the top 5% in the world of podcasts. She's in the top 0.1%.
Yeah. for nothing.
I listened to approximately 3 minutes of it, and I damn near tossed my computer through the window that's in my office.
You know what this tells me?
It's that fucking terrible.
You know what this tells me?
What's that?
Jobu ain't doing shit.
Do I have to give him more rum?
Fuck you, Jobu.
You know what this tells me? You need to get that mosaic done and spit on that thing.
Jesus Christ, I guess so. But that just blew me away.
Yeah.
Talk to her. And fucking aptly named Talk to her. 8 episodes. Listen score of 60. Top 0.1%. She already eclipsed 5 times the amount of total downloads that we have with almost 600 episodes.
Jeez, oh Pete.
People are running to this fucking thing.
They want to hear what she has to
It's
say?
been downloaded. Yeah, they definitely want to hear what she has. It's been downloaded 2 million times each episode.
You know what this tells me? We are too highbrow.
I guess.
So,
I don't know what the fuck. This is what it fucking tells me. This is why this country's in the fucking shitter. This is why we are the way we are. And this is why other countries fucking hate us. Because all you people out there, well, not our listeners, but for the most part, everybody else is fucking dumb as shit. I mean, we eliminated the short bus, started giving away participation trophies, and let everybody do whatever the fuck they want to do. And we end up with this stuff, which is totally, and I don't use this word very much, but fucking retarded.
You're not incorrect. So I think for our Wednesday episodes from now on, it's just going to be us kicking each other in the balls.
That's probably better. That's probably going to get... So we should probably pull this piece of shit podcast up and review a little bit of it, and we can talk about it, because I feel like I just want to be fucking angry. That's what we're going to do today. We're just going to be fucking angry.
I can get down with that. I'm pretty angry too, because you know why?
Why's that?
It was dark at 5 fucking o'clock today.
It was dangerous me settling in for my nap after work today, and I even texted that. I'm like, give my phone a call in 45 minutes, because I set an alarm, but it's dark already. Like I was very confused. I was as confused as a baby in a topless bar. I couldn't help myself.
I don't like this bullshit.
When the fuck another fucking dumbass thing our country does, this fucking daylight saving bullshit. It's unnecessary.
Well, this is the original. This is the actual time.
Let's go back to what it was a couple days ago.
Yeah, why? Who wants that extra hour of daylight in the morning, or because it's basically
the
it ends
kids
up.
got to have to go to school.
Fuck the kids.
Bullshit.
They're all fucking dumb anyway. They listen to Haktua.
They walk around with their eyes closed, anyways.
I guarantee kids now are dumber than they've ever been.
Well, yeah, they just need to pick a time and stick with it.
Yeah. And this isn't it. I swear to God, this is not it.
And kids became dumber when the generation just after us decided kids having them young was as an accessory, like a purse or whatever, and they just shoved them off on their grandparents and went out and fucking still did their kid shit, but kept popping out fucking kids. So then they go to school and the bar is set so low that to be average is fucking basically special needs anymore.
Yeah.
So to be above average doesn't take a whole lot.
No. Well, and
God
let's
damn,
face
I am
it.
angry.
Wish I was born today.
I know, Jesus Christ. We'd be like in the movie Idiocracy. You are the smartest man alive.
No, because what would happen is we would be that dumb.
Yeah, we'd be dumbed down too. Because when you fucking argue with idiots, they fucking drag you down to their level and beat you with experience.
Now, if I could be that young knowing what I know now, fuck yeah.
Right?
Fuck yes.
So basically the same setup as Idiocracy. We basically go back in time or go forward in time about 50 years, but be the age we are now, and we're way smarter than all the fucking peers of ours.
That's a really good point we just got. Kids can use their cell phone lights for flashlights. They don't need light. They don't need daylight.
You don't need kids like that.
So yeah, daylight savings time has me all.
And I would rather front load it and be dark in the morning when I'm going to work, because you might as well be miserable and depressed on your way to work rather than on your way home from fucking work.
That's the whole thing. It's the same amount of daylight no matter what time it is.
You're not saving shit. But then it's, once again, vis-a-vis, see the fucking short bus frittatas are like, hey, the day is longer.
No,
it's the same amount of daylight. I mean,
I am all spooled up.
So should they also move back the time that you're at work? Because what I hate is like the work day gets done around 5 o'clock and it's dark. So what the fuck? Why don't we switch it around so that it's dark while you're at work and light while you're not?
I don't want to go to work earlier. I have a hard enough time in the mornings. Probably
No,
because
go to work later. Almost work like an afternoon shift.
Probably because stupid shit like this will keep me up till 1 in the morning. Then tomorrow I'll be dragging ass.
Well, yeah, that's true.
I guess I've been told these are my own decisions. Last night I was in bed by 11 o'clock. I watched the Lions play, and then I watched part of that. God, what a dreadful game that was last night. The Minnesota Vikings are not good. They somehow forgot how to play football, I feel like. That's just like my opinion, man.
Yeah.
They really look like butt on a stick last night. Ugh.
At least the Lions proved that they can play outdoors.
You know what the cover art for this fucking episode is going to be, and that's going to be a gear ground we haven't even talked about yet. Branch getting tossed out of that game. The cover art for this episode is going to be him flipping the crowd to double birds.
That was the next thing I was going to talk about.
Dude, I already saved that on my computer, and I'm ready. I saw that picture today, and I click save. That's going to be the cover art for this podcast.
So apparently, they called the penalty, which
the penalty was fine. But to kick him out that,
I still hate that though. Like these guys are. How many people get...
And they are moving so goddamn fast. People don't understand the speed at which these athletes are moving. We've discussed this before. No human can pull up in that quick of a time when you have that much momentum going in that direction.
No. And are we seeing less injuries? No. Fuck no. We got people hurt all over the place. I think because they're not playing natural. They're trying
to
hold up.
They're trying to stop.
That's a very valid point.
We're not seeing less injuries. We're seeing more people injured.
Well, so it's better, and it's better this way, just physics-wise, purely from a physics standpoint, for someone in motion to stay in motion going through a tackle rather than trying to hold up halfway through.
Right.
It's going to hit harder if you try to stop halfway through.
Well, or what's going to happen? They're going to not be tense when they, they're going to try and like recoil back. It's just going to make it awkward. And I think that it just totally screws up all of the momentum, all of the everything.
Or guys making unnatural motions to try to avoid the hit that they can't do or the penalty. That's injuring guys too.
Yeah.
So, no, that's very valid. But what fucking horse shit? The officials on the field should dictate, because they're the ones there that saw it in real time, get the feel for everything, should determine something like ejecting a player from the game. Not a fucking call from some bullshit motherfucker in New York sitting on his ass watching it the same way we are on our television screen.
So did you see that there was a couple of hits yesterday, including one that landed a player in the hospital, that there wasn't even a flag thrown?
Yes.
And there were hits that were way more intentional targeting.
And I know
that didn't get anything.
And I know, Cookie, you're going to say, I always blame it on the refs, but it seems like every time the Lions play in Green Bay, something fishy or a fucking shitty ass call happens out of nowhere. This call's never happened before, and all of a sudden it seems to happen. You can't tell me the NFL does not want the Packers to win in Green Bay, especially on a night like last night.
Oh yeah, because that's their thing. And I really just don't think the NFL wants Detroit to win.
And I even texted that halfway through. I'm like, the NFL wants so badly for the Packers to win this game, but they suck enough that they're not going to. When they come to Detroit, when the Packers come to Detroit, it's going to be a fucking another 43-10 game.
Yeah. As well it should be.
Right. Especially if we get a pass rusher.
I mean, what in the world does a place like Green Bay have an outdoor stadium for anyways?
Yeah, I mean,
So, okay.
You never have nice weather there.
Okay. I got to counterpoint this one because I'm upset that Detroit doesn't have an open air stadium for this reason and this reason only. It should be used to your advantage, that weather, as far as playing football.
I understand that, except for...
Especially when teams from the South or from California come here. They're not used to that shit. It's advantageous to use that. I've always been irked that Detroit and Minnesota should not have fucking domes. They're the only ones up here that really do. Chicago doesn't. Green Bay doesn't.
New England doesn't.
No, New England doesn't. Cincinnati doesn't. Cleveland doesn't. Like
No, New York doesn't either.
no, we're the only vaginas.
Buffalo doesn't.
We're the only vaginas in this region that have fucking domes.
I honestly think that it
But yet the motherfuckers in California that should have them don't, because everybody bakes in the goddamn sun out there because it's too fucking hot.
that is very true.
I digress. Sorry, you get me spooled up on all kinds of issues here tonight.
I know I'm saying all the right things.
But fuck the NFL officials that threw Branch out of that fucking game.
Well, they were the same ones that had all the controversial calls last year.
Yeah.
But
That's
honestly,
I want to get that picture framed though. Him with just the double barrels going to the crowd. That's beautiful.
well, and I saw people that were like, "Well, he got kicked out because he flipped the double birds." No, he was already kicked out when that happened.
That was after he had been kicked out. And he got his money's worth. He got his money's worth because he's got an unsportsmanlike conduct flag after that, which I don't know how they could flag a player that's already been disqualified for a penalty in a game in which he's been disqualified for.
Right.
Technically, he's not part of the game anymore, you stupid ass officials.
He's no longer a participant.
So technically, that flag shouldn't have happened. But kudos to the Detroit defense for boning up, hold them to a field goal try, which they motherfucking missed.
Yeah, that was karma, and I really appreciate the fact that our defense missing Hutch, then losing Branch, and then you have Kirby Joseph come up big a little bit later with that pick six.
He is a fucking stud.
Well,
And you know who else I like in a lot of things I saw last night was Campbell on defense, calming guys down.
Yeah.
Guys would want to get into it, and he was right there, the first one grabbing them to get them like, hey. Hit.
The one thing I can say about the Lions that I've never
Anzalone's a stud too. Holy shit.
I've never ever uttered this before about the Detroit Lions. They are so well coached up and down. I don't know if anything can throw that team off.
Right.
They're just well coached all the way around.
Goff is just phenomenal. He is, and I don't know if fans realize this, and I'm sure they do, but he is having a season for the ages, and he could very well end the season as the greatest quarterbacking season that's ever happened in the NFL, strictly by the fact, but his completion percentage, his quarterback rating, and everything else.
Yeah, him and St. Brown, he ain't missed.
St. Brown,
No.
did you see that? He's targeted his last 30 targets, he's caught the pass. That's never happened in the NFL.
No, that's an NFL record and still building.
Yeah. 30 straight targets where he's caught his pass. There are guys out there, these big name receivers. There's guys like Jamar Chase's and even Jefferson who catches everything. They'll get targeted 11 times a game and only make 7 catches.
Yeah.
And that's consistent.
And St. Brown has drawn the same coverage as all those guys.
But he does the dirty work too, because
Yeah.
he'll go underneath. He's a slot receiver. He goes underneath. Where I get at Jefferson and those guys, they're deep. They stretch the field, but still.
Well, he can do that too, though.
He can. He really can.
He really can do everything, and the guy will block.
So do we get J-Mo back this week or no?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I don't like the bad rap on him. I know the gun thing. I think it was pretty convoluted. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He was a passenger.
Everything was on the up and up as far as
And he's probably he might face a 1-game suspension for that one, but I don't think we should demonize him for this. And
the thing is though, is the guy does have to get his shit together.
he's got to get his shit together, and he also has terrible luck. I do feel that way.
For the Lions, they need to hire somebody to read him the manual because obviously no one else.
What they need to do, and this is not complicated, and I've said this before with these problem players, if you're the Detroit Lions, you hire some schmuck that you trust, and it's whatever. You pay him $150,000 for the season, and he just shadows JMO everywhere he goes. You just get him a fucking dude to go wherever he goes. Yeah. And you pay him $150,000. Who wouldn't want to do that?
I'll do it.
Yeah. Right. Hey, for 6 months out of the year, I hang out with JMO and make sure he's doing okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Pay him $150,000. Fuck, I'd do that job.
Yep. And that's nothing to the Lions.
And you tell the dude if he needs a fucking ride, if he's been drinking, you either get him a ride or you take him if you haven't been drinking, which you shouldn't be on this job, but it happens. But make sure you get him a ride. If he's doing something he shouldn't be, you fucking tell him to straighten the fuck up.
The one thing I want to know, though, about that situation is you are a player worth millions of dollars. Where are you at and what are you doing that you got to have two guns on you?
Well, he had one and his brother had one, but yes. You know that, but that's the mentality. And I don't want to make this a racial thing, but it's a racial thing. That's the mentality of
in all honesty, it's what we get for drafting somebody that went to both Ohio State and Alabama.
Right? He learned how to be a thug at one university and he learned how to be a redneck yokel at the other.
Exactly.
Jesus Christ. Actually, he learned how to be a thug at one and a criminal at the other. That's better.
More accurate.
You can decipher which is which. They're interchangeable.
Both products of Nick Saban.
What is going on in the world? And it's not going to get better. As the time this podcast releases, these might be the last moments of sanity that we have around here for a long, long time, my friends.
Yeah, I hope so.
I love chaos. I thrive in chaos.
I'm ready for everything to just get fucked up.
Why not? It's time. Empires typically last between 250 and 350 years. We're at about the 280 mark. It's time for us to collapse and go away.
So
we'll reiterate. Don't worry, folks. It's not like we're all gonna die. Something will come along. We'll be fine. We'll have to learn Mandarin or something, but it'll be good. It'll be fine. Jeff's fine because he'll just make him wonderful food and get out of everything.
Yeah. Oh, here's some potatoes and some jalapeno poppers, and
they'll make me talk on a mic, but it'll be my own worst enemy. They'll give me a script, and I can't deviate at all from it.
Yeah.
Right? Like you say these words.
You make Schneeberger commercial forever.
I'm an infinite Schneeberger's fucking spokesperson. And then during the day, they make me greet people in the showroom. Fuck. And they pay me the government wages of $7 a day.
Yes. Well, see, I'm going to run in the next election cycle. I am going to run for president. And I'm going to vote. I'm going to try and put the dollar on the goat standard.
The goat standard?
Yeah, all based on the value of goats.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
I don't think there's been a lot of goat fluctuation in the last 100 years.
Not really.
A goat's a goat.
A goat is pretty much a goat. They're only useful for a few things.
Yeah.
And very unuseful for many things.
Well, to some farmers, they're invaluable companions.
Jesus Christ.
Yay.
That's why they wear the tall boots. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, boy. So, yeah, that fucking... my head's going to explode.
So, yeah, you hit on one of my other gear grinds, which was Branch getting suspended.
Disqualified is the official company line.
And just the way that it happened and all of that kind of fun stuff.
What a bunch of fucking horse shit. Brian Branch, we're with you, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. That was terrible. And even the guys who are like the NFL analysts that are supposed to sit there.
Even Tom Brady was on his side. And Tom Brady's the biggest pussy and proponent of nobody hitting anybody out there ever. Well, just him.
Yeah.
But even Tom Brady's like, I don't understand that call.
I don't see that one.
He said, I don't understand that call.
Yeah.
And then he said, I don't agree with that call. That was his.
Yeah. He's going to get in trouble for that. They were talking about that today on the Pat McAfee show.
That's on the no list for Tom Brady since he's a part owner of the Raiders now.
Well, that and he's an NFL analyst.
Analyst.
Wasn't that why you wear a helmet? Protect yourself?
Not anymore. Apparently, you use it as a weapon is the only reason to wear one.
Yeah, but the other guy's got one on too. You ain't gonna hurt him.
Well, he didn't weaponize his.
Well, see, that's the thing is he hit with the shoulder first. By the definition of targeting is leading with the crown of the helmet. He hit him with the shoulder first, and it was helmet side-to-side contact. It wasn't crown of the helmet contact. It was not targeting by the NFL's own definition, and it makes no sense.
The only thing I can think of is he is such an athlete, and it had to be so astounding in real time to see what he did there because I'm sure you're like, holy fuck, did that just happen? That's the only thing I can possibly think of because he is a specimen when it comes to everything and hitting out there on the field.
He's phenomenal. But at the same time, they reviewed that several times before they made that call.
When they disqualified him, I could not. I'm like, what the fuck? From New York? Are they fucking kidding me? That should be the call of the officials on the field. That should always be at the discretion of the officials on the field.
So apparently Vegas lost their ass on that. Like him not being in that game threw a whole bunch of stuff off. There was also, was it Puka Nacua that got thrown out?
Nacua got thrown out for throwing a punch against the Seahawks, yeah.
There were two other people that threw punches in games yesterday
and did not get ejected.
So Vegas is saying, look, NFL, if you're going to do it this way, we have to totally rethink because the NFL apparently gets a cut of these games being able to be bet on.
Wait a minute.
No way.
What?
So
collusion.
So Vegas is saying, wait a minute. We don't like the way you're doing this. If you're going to suspend somebody, it has to be for the next game. Can't be in that current game because it throws off everything that we're doing here with money lines and everything else.
It's just like the injury report rules that they have to adhere to now. If you look at it during the week, they can put a guy on injured reports for various things, put him as questionable or whatever. But come an hour and a half before game time, they have to say whether he's going or not. You cannot say, there's no such thing as a game time decision anymore. It has to be an hour and a half before the game. You've got to say whether he's going to go or not.
Yeah.
So, and that's purely Vegas. That's purely Vegas and
so
fantasy football.
You watch. They're going to switch that.
Because fantasy football is a multi-billion with a B dollar industry.
Yeah. You watch. They're going to change it from they won't suspend the guy for that game. It'll be for the next game. Mm-hmm. I'm positive.
But what would incentivize you not to be an asshole for the rest of that game then? Since you know you're already going to set out the next one, I'd be like, fuck it. I'm going to headhunt. I would fucking headhunt.
Yeah. Well, and then, oh God, I hate Packer fans. Dear Lord. So I'm looking at some of the, yes. I'm looking at some of the things out there that the Packers fans are saying. And they're like, well, they not only tried to hurt whatever his name was that Branch hit, but they also tried to hurt Jordan Love by grabbing his ankle. It's like, are you serious? Did you see that? That was like the lamest ankle grab ever.
There's nothing wrong with grabbing at ankles like that.
No.
That's been going on in football since its inception. That's how tackles used to be made.
I'm sorry that your quarterback is an absolute pussy.
Didn't I? There's a podcast in the past where I talked about that. I talked about how he's on the sideline getting massaged between plays. And then he comes up lame. I'm like, you never saw Favre do that. You never saw Rodgers do that. No. This guy's a fucking pussy. He's going to be injury prone.
Yep.
Good luck, my friends. He's talented. I will give him that. He's talented, but he's going to have injuries his whole career, and he's going to just or use them as excuses because some players do that. Shit. You come out and you're like, Favre threw fucking four touchdown passes for 350 yards, including the game winner as time expired. And he's fucking limping around and you look and he's got his whole right leg is about to fall off in black and blue. No excuse there.
Well, it's like Stafford. I mean,
yeah, Stafford plays hurt a lot.
He's tough. I mean,
Stafford looked good. He looked good in that overtime game yesterday.
And
And I don't want him back, but I'm happy for him.
I don't want him back.
I'm happy he's still
I can't
got it.
root against Stafford.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm happy he still got it. That touchdown pass he threw in overtime was beautiful.
I don't think he did Detroit bad at all.
No, he never did Detroit dirty at all.
He was never
now his wife, sure, but yeah.
He was never given the tools to be able to win. But I don't know if he's the type of player that could play in this system. Because you can tell looking at Goff, he doesn't care if he has 50 yards or 500 yards as long as they get that W.
I would take in this system of past Lions quarterbacks, I would take for this system, obviously Goff, number one. Happy to have him. Perfect. When they traded, I said, don't sleep on Goff. Now he's one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL.
Yeah.
I would take, if you had to get past quarterbacks to play in this system, I'd pick Joey Harrington over Matt Stafford.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think he'd fit into this system. He wouldn't be the superstar Goff is. I mean, very few quarterbacks would. But
well, and like I say, I think that all goes into buying into the system that's been put in front of you.
And the rapport he has with these guys. Did you see him when they were in victory formation? They're down there like just loving it, loving each other, having a good time. Yeah. They genuinely enjoy playing on that field with each other.
Well, and you hear, I don't know if you watched any of the receivers special on Netflix, but these guys are always doing stuff together. Like, they get together for big family functions. They get together for all kinds of stuff. And it's no wonder that everybody wants to play in Detroit.
Hell, I do.
Yeah, me too.
I can get kicked out of games with the best of them. I got kicked out of a game once. I just like to be double penetrated sometimes. Well, thank you for that.
You're welcome. I hadn't played it all episode.
That gets Cookie all boned up when he hears that drop.
Oh, not probably more than just him.
Gets a few people all boned up.
You don't need listeners like that.
You don't need listeners like that.
Oh, boy.
It's got nothing to do with me.
It got everything to do with you.
So I don't know if anybody listened to my broadcast last Friday, but that's probably the least invested I've ever been in a football broadcast game I've done. I was just on autopilot. I didn't bother looking up guys' names or numbers I'd be like, yeah, number 2 with the carrier across the right side. I think that's so-and-so. He's got about 9 yards. But I listened, and it was still better than other broadcasts that happened that night.
Good job, number 4.
Yeah. I realized that halfway through the game. Like, normally by now I've memorized everybody's names and their numbers and everything. And I'm like, I'm not going to just not going to even give it the mental fortitude here tonight.
Yeah.
And that's not a discredit. Cassidy did a great job. They look good. I got the names for most of it, but I wasn't heavily invested into that broadcast.
No. Well, I mean, you kind of had the rug pulled out from under you a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I was working with Jimmy Sheridan, which I love. Jimmy knows a lot about football.
Oh, yeah.
That dude called probably 75% of the plays before they happened because he's a coach and he just knows. Yeah. So it was fun. I didn't take it seriously either, which is the problem. I think it sounded fine, but normally I'm a little more diligent. I'm a little more invested. And this time I was just like, you know what? The end is nigh. So
like I say, it's been an odd season for that stuff.
Really, yeah.
Just a whole lot of things.
Well, and I'm going to be a total homer here. Like, I really wanted to follow Deckerville on this run because I think there's something special. I know a lot of the kids. I know all their parents. And it's like...
That was closer than I thought it would be.
It was a lot closer than that. But I said that. I thought this... And you can hear me on pregames and stuff like that. This Bay City All Saints team is much improved. The one from what I heard of the accounts of week 1 when Deckerville smoked them, not the same team I saw up in North Huron that just totally decimated that North Huron team.
Yeah.
So I know a little bit. I know a little bit about football. I mean, no one will ever give me credit, but actually I only know what I see with my eyes. That's why I always like to see teams. You know what I mean?
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
And that's true too. I'm just might be special needs or something. It's fine.
You're on the spectrum a little bit.
Probably. Nobody ever tells me.
Oh, I just did. But since you're on the spectrum, you didn't notice.
When the fuck did we get ice cream? Fire truck!
Oh, boy. Gonna make me pull that one out, too.
Fire truck!
Who said they don't like that drop? Cookie said he doesn't like that drop.
Yeah, I like
why?
I like Fire Truck.
You gotta explain to us why you don't like that drop, Cookie. I don't know. That just seems un-American.
Hittle too close to home, does it? Or?
Jesus Christ.
Maybe he was on that Special Olympic team on that plane.
He was there with Bobcat.
Oh boy.
Do not panic, folks. There's going to be a fire truck at the end of the runway when we emergency land.
Fire Truck.
Fire truck!
He was just excited he was going to see a fire truck.
Can't blame the guy. I mean, can you?
I can't blame anybody for anything, just myself.
So I've tried to respond back to a couple comments just so people know that I'm not ignoring you, but they don't appear to be showing up in the feed there when I send those out. So keep commenting. We can see them.
We can?
Yeah, we can. Oh, well, I can. You could if you were looking in the right spots online.
I suppose I should probably go online. I'm just sitting here stewing because I'm angry.
Somebody said that Jeff would survive the apocalypse if he said, "Don't shoot, I can cook brisket."
Don't shoot, I can cook brisket. That's beautiful.
I'd leave him alive.
I'm like, whoa. Don't shoot, I can cook brisket.
We just got to find one.
Right, we just got to find. Well, there's a field of cows over that way. Sounds like fresh brisket.
So it's official. Our first game.
Are you going to announce it then?
I am. We on our 360radionetwork.com page, we will be covering the Thumb Legion hockey. Our first game is going to be the what was it, the 22nd?
Yes, the
Friday,
22nd.
22nd of November.
Of November, the 22nd. I like it. Do they want like a pregame, like, you know, like voiceover, like the do as they come out down the ice, like, and yeah, we should work on doing a hype, like, little song for them.
We could
with your voice,
that.
though, not mine.
Oh,
I don't want to have to listen to that.
You could push your voice and make it good.
Right. Make it good. What a fucking asshole. You can make it good.
Well, you can go get coached by Bob Armstrong. You'll be okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just have Bob Armstrong do it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your Legion.
It's like soccer on ice.
Hey, with a puck, instead of a ball.
It's like soccer, but colder.
And they use sticks.
And their feet are sharp.
And shiny.
Oh, boy.
No.
No, it won't be like that. I'm excited to do these games.
I'm excited also.
You know, I've always enjoyed watching hockey.
I didn't think it would happen this quickly, but okay.
Yeah, we're here.
I'm not mentally, spiritually, or physically prepared, but I'll be okay.
You are.
This bullshit like this podcast has prepared me.
Yes, exactly.
There we go. All right. Let's see what's going on online.
I just like to be double penetrated sometimes.
Fantastic.
Probably the best drop that we've had in a long, long time.
In a long, long time.
Don't you think?
I don't know. Sure.
It is. It is. You just don't know it yet. You will eventually realize the greatness that has been presented to you.
I said it. And now it's presented to me. That's beautiful. Oh, that's America.
Well,
right
I
there.
don't think you thought at the time.
That's how America was founded, right there, getting double penetrated.
I don't think you thought about at the time how awesome it was going to be.
All right.
I don't think you thought about it.
There we go. We're he's tuning in over there. I like it. That'll take the views up. We need that.
He probably just wanted to say something worthwhile. Since we haven't been.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, damn it. I was trying to look something up. And this keyboard fucking up screwed me up.
Blame it on the keyboard.
I did. Okay, it probably does need batteries.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Haley Welch's Talk Twa podcast suffers massive blow after climbing to number 3 on Spotify. Uh-oh.
Cleavon is lucky to be alive. He attempted to jump a jet ski from a lake into a swimming pool and impaled his crotch on an iron gate. But thanks to recent advances in stem cell research and the fine work of Doctors Krinsky and Altschuler, Cleavon should regain full reproductive function.
Get your hands off my junk!
Oh, boy.
So this just happened in the last week because actually this sticky note was here from last week about this podcast from her. It suffered a massive drop in the Spotify charts over the last month or so. Found herself in a spotlight earlier, social media, blah, 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 coined the phrase Hak Twa. Tua?
Tui.
I always say it wrong.
Hak Tua.
Hak Tua. One such venture happens to be a new podcast which launched on September 10th. Quickly rose to number 3 on Spotify, only behind the Ho Rogan Experience and the Tucker Carlson Show. Both terrible podcasts. The brand that powers the show highlighted the fact that they celebrated as indeed a significant milestone. It appears the novelty has worn off. It has plummeted to number 50, and it might even be off the chart now. So God bless America.
If we didn't at least chart above her some,
Right.
well, I'd keep doing it. But
Well, I think it's because people listen to it, and that's all she is. It's just the initial like flash in the pan novelty of everything.
yeah,
And once there's no substance, it's all sizzle. There's no steak. Is that the best way to put it?
exactly.
People are like, "Oh, she's hot with her lazy eye." Super hot. Yeah, super hot with her stupidity and lazy eye. If you want to bang that for the rest of your life, God bless you and be my guest.
If you want to bang her, there's 100% chance that you could find a cousin of equal or lesser value.
Oh, yeah, without a lazy eye.
Let the rehabilitation begin!
Is this the Idiocracy
It is.
soundboard? Yeah. Oh, boy. Well, I feel a little vindicated, so I'm my blood pressure is coming down.
Oh, that's good. Well, plus knowing that we got games coming up to cover is going to be fun.
It kind of settles me down a little bit.
Yeah.
Calms the nerves ever so slightly. The fact that we're on the verge of potentially catastrophic everything at the end of today, with it being an erection day.
You know, we don't even know it, but it's probably already decided because of all the pre-voting and everything they do now.
Vote early and vote often, as they say in Chicago.
You remember back when we were kids and like you had a guy on the news you could trust, and you could watch the 11 o'clock news, and they come in and they go, the election results are in, so-and-so has won. And you believed them because it was probably true. Who
Now,
knows?
this could be anywhere from a 2-day to 2-month process.
Well, Michigan has already come out and said they will not have the results tomorrow.
And here's the thing. It's because we've convoluted everything. I don't want to get into this. I've ranted on this so much. It used to be if you wanted to vote, you could there was no early fucking voting. You came to the goddamn polls. This is purely what the Democrats have done. This is purely for Democrats. The fact that they want to open up so many options for people to vote. That's the Democrats' doings because they're fucking pissy about everything. And I'm neither, but I'm just saying it's fucking bullshit. It used to be election day was election day. You showed up to vote that day. And if you wanted an absentee ballot, you had to have a valid reason. Yeah. Now you don't have to have a reason at all. And they open up pre-balloting, pre-voting, pre-ejaculation, pre-everything a month before the fucking Election day, it should still be the same thing. You show up at the polls on election day if you want to vote, and if you have to have an absentee ballot, you better have a good goddamn reason.
You should be able to show up with your ID.
Yeah.
You can't do anything in this country without an ID.
I had to get my ID to get a hotel room. I got to give my ID to buy alcohol.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore because I got enough gray in my beard. I don't have to.
I had to show ID to get fireworks the other day, and they were just Roman candles.
I bought butane and had to show my ID.
Yeah.
Butane.
What'd I buy? It was something.
I bought carburetor cleaner at Walmart and had to show my ID.
Yeah, they're like carb cleaner. Ooh. Because I'll huffing.
Yeah,
puffing,
I was going
blow
to
your
say.
house in.
You buy Sharpies, you got to show your ID.
Oh, God, I love huffing Sharpies.
Oh, who doesn't?
Oh, that's the best. You just get those couple seconds of bliss. But I digress.
So, yeah, I can remember one time we had to go out of town when I was real young, and my parents had to get absentee ballots, and it was like pulling teeth to get them.
Yes.
Like, they're like, we're going to be in another state. Are you really? Really? Are you?
And obviously I get with Silent N being the clerk of her township, like, she has to bend over backwards for these people. We've had different times where, like, oh, I've got to meet so-and-so at the hall because they want a absentee ballot because it wouldn't get there in time via mail. I'm like, no, fuck these people. They should have fucking planned better.
Well, dude, now they're telling you.
Or show up on the day of poll, and then they fill the goddamn thing out and submit it that day, and it's like, that should not be allowed either.
What I don't like is they're pushing it so hard. Don't want to wait in the long lines? Vote anytime.
So anyone can just vote any fucking time they want. Why the fuck do we have election day? It should just be election deadline day, and we should just open up the polls for the full fucking 2 weeks before and say,
well, honestly,
you know what, assholes? Just show up willy-nilly, vote Democrat like the loser you are, and fucking move on.
Honestly, it should just be you from Sunday at noon until Tuesday at noon is when you can vote.
Yeah.
That gives anybody who works all through the week or works midnights or whatever, have the polls be open that 48 hours or whatever.
No, we just do this election day.
But also being on the other side of this, who's going to pay for that? Because you got to have, if you got to have somebody there all the time, you got to pay them.
Election day, federal holiday.
Should be anymore. It sounds like we're leading up to election Monday and Tuesday federal holidays.
Well, yeah.
Then people got no excuse to not vote. What I'm wondering, though, is how many of these devious, mischievous motherfuckers get election day off from work and just vote early or send in their absentee just so they don't have to do a goddamn thing that day when they could have easily went into the polls and voted.
Well,
obviously, if you live in the township you're registered in, or you should be legally, you're never more than, 15 miles away from your polling place?
I was talking to somebody who lives in Chicago, and they're like, oh, it's such a hassle to go vote. Don't you hate the long lines? I'm like, yeah, usually when I go vote, it's kind of in the morning, and I'm like the fifth person that's voted that day.
Usually if I go vote here, I'm annoyed if there's two people ahead of me because typically there's none.
Yeah. And why? This is a whole nother thing. Why is it that we can do our banking online? Nothing is more important to people than money. We can do our banking online, and we're supposed to believe it's secure, but we're also supposed to believe that you can have a paper ballot that you put in some machine that was built in 1984, and it's going to count your shit right.
I don't know. I don't. It's all hokey as fuck to me. But, anyone could get a fucking ballot and fill it out. Like, my uncle's ballot came here for his absentee ballot, and he's like, frantically, like a week later, texted me, did my absentee? Yeah, I filled it in. I voted for Trump. Don't worry, I sent it in because he's a staunch Democrat. What?
Well played.
I actually said I voted Trump and straight Republican. Don't worry about it. Send it in. Anyone could do that, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's... So last election, my mom passed away in 2015.
To clarify, I did not. I presented him with his ballot unopened. I don't want anybody to think that I'm doing anything hokey here either. But yeah, go ahead.
It's perfectly acceptable now.
Yeah.
my mom passed away in 2015. In both 16 and 20, she received an absentee ballot in the mail.
That's the Chicago style right there.
Yeah.
When you have more voters vote than there are registered voters in your precinct.
Yeah, you got 110% of the people that voted.
Yeah.
Well, and this is no joke. When my mom was in Covenant Hospital and basically knew that her days were very numbered, and her and I were just sitting in that room, and she says, "You know what the worst part of this is?" And I'm expecting like her to say something really profound, and she goes, "I'm probably going to vote Democrat in the next election." So, which absolutely made me lose it. You know, I'm expecting her to just say something like, "I'm on the edge of my seat," and it's a joke. But that was mine.
But memorable, super memorable.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Well, now I don't want to listen to any of this crappy podcast because it's tanking in the rankings, and I don't want to be part of it untanking. Does that make any sense? I don't want to give it the time of day. The other P&A podcast guys, I'd give the time of day because, you know.
Oh, that's a good point brought up by Brian. We also have to remember that they have to go count all of the votes in the cemetery.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Yeah. So that takes time.
That takes a lot of time.
Why can't they just secretly count these votes that have already been voted on or tally on what?
They have already. Whatever they make them whatever they want to.
Well, yeah, but that's what takes so long.
So I'm going to be really curious to see what happens in Michigan if we go to bed with one candidate winning and then wake up in the morning suddenly and there's a
Oh,
new
you mean
candidate
like the
winning.
last election?
Like last election.
Well, it's just like they said yesterday. All the betting flipped from Trump to Harris.
Yeah.
The money markets.
Yeah.
How does that happen overnight?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
That tells you everything you need to know exactly right there about this election. Follow the money. Always follow the money. So I think we've determined our winner right there.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, I will go and vote because I still have that shred of ignorant hope that.
Oh, I'm going to vote too, but it's going to be a miserable cunt of a country if we have her as president for the next 4 years.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm burdened by what is burdened. And
if you think she's going to do anything different than be part of what she has for the regime she's already done, you're a fool. And you already know what you're getting with Trump. And I'm not endorsing either candidate, but I'm just saying, if he wanted to steer the country off the rails like the Democrats are pushing, he would have done it in his first term.
And I'm sorry, but if you got all these plans, you had 3.5 years to do this shit.
It's exactly right, too.
Well,
So she's basically towing a company line that goes against everything that she's worked for the last 4 years.
and when Biden was still running, she said that, you know, voting for him is voting for keeping things moving in the direction they're headed. Now that she's the candidate, it's like, oh no, I'm going to change everything that we've been doing, and she's not.
You're a fool. You're a fool if you believe this.
So, all right, well, this is more political than we've ever been. It's probably going to push us over the edge. Maybe we can get the Haktua
girl to propel us to be in the charts on Spotify.
Yes, maybe we can get to her level.
Maybe we can Haktua her other eye and make it lazy too.
Yes, that's what I hope for.
That's our hope.
Well, we should get out of this one.
Really?
We should. I mean, that's what that says in this.
It says we're almost at an hour.
That's usually when we stop.
All right. Well, I guess you know how to get us out of here.
But we're gonna do another one.
What?
Yeah, I know. I don't like it either, but
No,
that's the hand we've been dealt.
No.
It's the hand we've been dealt, Phil.
I just like to be double penetrated sometimes.
What an asshole. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and spread the word. Tell your friends. We need to beat that lazy-eyed Haktua girl.
Yes.
I just want our podcast to be ahead of hers in something, please. If anything, this is the mission that you all are like presented with. Please help. Please, I don't beg much. I beg a lot, but I'm not going to beg now, but I am begging. So please
we don't mean to burden you with what has been unburdened, but make people listen.
We could really use your help. We really could. Because things aren't getting better.
Get
They're
us
not.
up to that listen score like 35.
And unless someone like you cares a whole lot, things aren't going to get better. They're not. So we need you to. Thanks to the Grumpy Griller for joining us, bringing us food.
Yes.
Thanks to all of you who listen. Spread the word, spread the joy. If anything, you can tell them it's an example of what not to do for a podcast.
Very true.
He's Adam Filkins. I'm Phil Nickel from the Palm Street Studios, and from all of us here at the P&A Podcast Express. Make good choices.